Good evening, good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. I am Tim, back once again for the Speed Force Racing League GP4 series with my co-commentator, as always, Oliver. How are you doing today? We are looking at a magnificent race at Sochi.
Magnificent race or a magnificent race for the championship. Andy Dan got his third win of the season, and Snellweg really commanding as well. Race for the championships heating up. Hooky has to get his championship hopes back on track, but it's Sochi, the time penalty circuit. So it'll be interesting to see how all these drivers do today.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be, because it's coming down to the wire, really. We only have a handful of races left in this season, and honestly, it feels like the season just started a couple weeks ago.
It feels strange. It really does.
Yeah, and I've been here for almost every race. I missed the first race. I missed Monza a couple weeks ago. There might have been one other race that I missed in between all of that. But otherwise, I've been here for every race commentating. You've been here for most of the races with me, and it's been fun. And it's still not over, and we're not necessarily deciding a champion today. We still got a few races left. It's just amazing that it's already coming down to the end of the season, and we're now talking about not if someone wins the championship. It's starting to transition into when they win the championship.
Oh, definitely. As ever, Need for Speed starts first for qualifying. He's now taking over Tom's role to start out first. Need for Speed, of course, got his first ever points finish this season. He got a 9th place in Singapore. Congratulations to Need for Speed there, as Mr. Harry Williams starts his run in the Alfa Romeo. What a moment for him, Tim, to get his first point of the season on the board. Real happy for him. Let's hope he gets that momentum into Russia today.
And we'll see just what Need for Speed can do once he makes his way back around the racetrack to start his flying lap. Of course, as you said, Need for Speed, as he claimed his first points of the season last week, do you think that that's going to give him a little bit more of an edge? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Oliver, you know Need for Speed personally, and you're actually really good friends with him, so you probably know him better than any of us here. What do you think he's going to do?
If you're talking like, good 16, 17 years with this man, then yeah, I might know him personally. Yeah, Need for Speed, he's one of those people that I've been training him for racing. There's still a few bits of bobs I need to train him with his steering, because he's still got that jabby steering that he has, and his fifth throttle inputs can be doing a bit of work. But with mostly Need for Speed, he's been figuring out his own type of league racing. I've got him into league racing last season in 2019. And in terms of confidence as well, he is growing in confidence as Need for Speed. I've been really impressed with his development, and he's just going to get better and better. And I think Need for Speed will do exactly the same here in Russia today.
Well, we're about to see just what he can do. He's the first driver to start his flying lap. He invalidated his out lap. Thankfully, that doesn't count at all. So as long as he can keep it within the lines on this lap, we'll see just what the time will be, and we'll get a good gauge of his pace for the day, riding on board with Need for Speed, so you can get a nice point of view to see what he is seeing, more or less, unless he's using the cockpit view, of course. A nice line around that corner. Maybe could have taken it a little bit wider, but like I said, you got to keep it in between the lines. Sometimes it's better to just lay down a lap and be cautious and get a feel for the track and get a feel for what the car wants to do before you really go balls to the wall and just try to get the fastest lap right out of the gate.
Talk about the championship that we are going, because we're in the serious part of the championship. Andy Dan has broke into the magical 200-point mark now. It's only him and Snellweg in that 200-point marker now, Tim. Ain't that amazing? Hooky is still on 164, but he's technically still in this fight. But now, in my opinion, it's between Dan and Snellweg. Hooky's still in this mathematically, but in my opinion, Tim, it's going to be Dan versus Snellweg for this season's Season 7 championship.
Yeah, and I agree with you there, Oliver, is that yes, Hooky is still mathematically sitting there in third with 164 points, but Snellweg has 237 points. Energy Dan 201. So that's a 36-point gap there between Energy Dan, who actually just set the fastest time of the session so far. So Energy Dan rocketing up to the top of the board there. But it is a 36-point gap to Snellweg from him. And I do agree with you, Oliver, that they're really the only two that can win this championship, even though mathematically Hookie is still in it. Snellweg and Dan would both have to have a lot of bad days, and Hookie would basically have to win most of the races from here on out, because we have about 150 points left on the board, not counting the point that you get for the fastest lap. So if you're just counting the points you get for winning that race, there's 150 points left on the board, counting today's race. So mathematically, the top three are still in it, but realistically, Energy Dan, Snellweg, it's going to come down to the wire. It might come down to the final race. We'll just have to see, because we have seen...
exciting.
It really is, because we have seen Energy Dan run well on days that Snellweg hasn't. And we've also seen Snellweg run well on days that Energy Dan hasn't.
Psychomich, I validated on the last corner.
Unfortunate for Psychomich. Let's see where he is right now. He is just now crossing the line, and now down through turn 1, actually. So, yeah, Psychomich, a big red line there on that track map. So, unfortunate for him. Of course, his teammate, at least for a while anyway, I don't know what's happened to him since. I suppose he's been promoted, but his teammate of Rage Hunter used to be very dominant here a few weeks ago.
He has been promoted. He got promoted in Belgium. So Rage Hunter did get promoted in Belgium. Really, really pleased for Rage Hunter. He improved. We all see his pace, Tim. He was too fast for GP4. We all noticed. Now he's gone into GP3. He's and it's in his home now in a faster division. Well done to Rage Hunter there. Again, my congratulations goes to him. Very well done to him. And also, Tim, I would see a couple of drivers in here, or a few can go up into GP3. I could see, I could definitely see Dan sometimes might go in there. I could see Snellweg possibly. Again, I would say some drivers can be promoted, but that's GP3. That's another story. This is GP4. This is the champion, one of the main championship fights apart from GP1 that I commentate has been amazing. I'm looking at Shallow Lancer. Of course, he's going through the third sector now, so he's on the soft tire compound. Tires, Tim, I would say, very aggressive. I did some practice with the GP4 boys and a couple of GP3 drivers. The medium tires and the hard tires work around here, but of course, you think the soft tires will degrade around it due to its long sweeping corners, but really, the soft tires, they can go, I'm not even kidding, a good 15, possibly 13, 15 laps. The soft tires have good durability around here. I'm really been impressed with the soft tires around here.
So that's going to definitely make things a little interesting when it comes to the race, because normally it just seems that the average is about 10 laps for the soft tires. You know, give or take a few laps depending on where we are, but for you to say that they can go all the way up to about 15 is actually very impressive, and that's even more than I thought they could go. So that's going to make things very interesting. It means that you can actually go a little bit longer on those soft tires there at the beginning, or if you're doing the reverse strategy and starting on mediums, then you can go longer on the mediums obviously already, and then you can go on the softs a little bit earlier than maybe you would normally, so that you can actually make it to the end of the race. So it's really nice to see that there's different compounds being brought to these tracks in the real life Formula One, which, you know, then correlates to the virtual Formula One that we're in right now. And
so would you say that it's due to the durability, due to the circuit itself, though, because there's just no, curve, like hills, no bottom crest, no camber corners? Would you say it's just due to the duration of the flat circuit?
I'd say that that's definitely a possibility. Not necessarily the entirety of it, but certainly a factor, because that's actually something I wasn't thinking about. But you can see turn 1 is maybe very slightly banked, but relatively flat. And it's also a somewhat of a slow racetrack. Like the first sector, you have really long straightaways. But then the second and third... Yeah, then the second and third sector, it really just gets tight, and it's a slower track that I feel like can help you conserve your tires and really conserve everything, so you can conserve your ERS and your tires and your fuel if you need to, but hopefully you put enough fuel in the car before you start it out. but it is very different. But other than that, I was just of the assumption that Pirelli was bringing different tire compounds to the different tracks on the real life schedule, and that corresponds to this.
Yeah, so Snellweg 32.9 on the medium tires. So I can see Snellweg might be putting a banker lamp, or is he going for, I don't know, somewhat of a longer strategy or going opposite to Dan? Because Snellweg is obviously targeting Dan for the championship. He is the championship leader by a good 37, 36 points. So possibly he's going for that opposite tyre strategy, or is he teasing us on going, or is he going longer, or is he going shorter? It depends. So who just went up there? It was Fanny Lion that got into third place. So Red Bull looking a bit strong, 32 threes, 32 eights there from Red Bull. Dan is the only one who's got a 131.8, but that will definitely change since the other guys hadn't set their faster times yet. Where's Hooky at? Where is Hooky? He's going through the second sector now. It's been a good season for Dan and Hooky. Of course, there are us SFR veterans. But it's just a shame for Hooky, Tim. He had immense bad luck going through the mid part of the season and going towards this part of the season. He's had nothing but bad luck. I feel sorry for him in some ways because he was in that he was leading the championship at one point and it all fell apart for him. It's just nothing but such a shame.
Yeah, and Hooky, he was one that early on was very dominant. Like you were saying, and he finally got a win.
31-4 for Dan, impressive.
Wow, yeah, that is very impressive. I mean, Gamey Thing's going up to the top of the board, a 131.031, if I'm reading that correctly.
What's he gonna do?
Let's see what he does. We're on board with him. Final corner now. A nice line through that. Crossing the line second, 131.341. So just a tenth faster than his teammate of Energy Dan. If they stay that way, we're going to see the AlphaTauri drivers working together probably for the first few laps, if not the entire race, because that is something that has been a staple of their performance. And I think the reason why they're leading the Constructors' Championship right now is just they've worked together. They're both very fast, consistent drivers who have got together and have worked together and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do to get the most points.
And of course, in fact, I think in my mind now at this stage part of the season, I think Hooky probably realises that Dan is more the championship contender. I think Hooky is going to do his damn best to stop Snellweg from getting any advantage on Dan. I think Hooky's going to do his damn hardest to stop Snellweg to get any more progress and Dan getting the most maximum points as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that at some point they might have to employ team orders. I'm not exactly saying I agree with that because I usually do not agree with team orders, but I could see that as a possibility that when it gets down to the wire that Hooky might kind of give Energy Dan a little bit of a break in some cases to try to allow him to chase that championship and also to just score more points for AlphaTauri. But we'll have to wait and see what happens because nothing's a guarantee. Who knows what's going to happen on the start here. We will find out hopefully in about 10 minutes or so, but first we got to finish this qualifying session, just trying to find a few drivers that are taking their flying lap, but so far there isn't anybody. But Snellweg, though, our championship leader, is in 9th place with a 132.935, and he's on his out lap, so we'll see what he can do. He's already invalidated his out lap, interestingly enough.
Hey Tim, I've got a good question for you.
What's that?
What team is missing on that grid?
What team is missing on the grid? Okay, you're going to have to give me just a little bit to think about this one, but it looks like it's Ferrari.
It's no Ferrari, no Sonic Cork, and no Racing Pods today. What a shame.
What a shame indeed, honestly, because they have been, not both of them have not been to every race, but together they've always been there, one or the other, and now, none of them are there, and really, Sonic Hawk and Racing Podge, they were two drivers that back in Vietnam, which I believe was the third race of the season, we were talking about potential champions when we talked about their name because they were battling with Snellweg for the lead in Vietnam, and I remember it very vividly. It was such a tight battle. So to see them not here today is unfortunate, but they have kind of dropped off in the points since Vietnam. So it was really a surprise to see that, because we had kind of pegged them as championship favorites. And Snellweg, of course, he's been the championship favorite the entire season. And then AlphaTauri just having the breakout performance that they did, once we got a few races into the season.
Speaking of championship, here comes Snellweg going through, of course, turn 4. Is it 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're going through turn 4. They're going through turn 5. He's a 90 degree. This one is a bit slower than the first right-hander. Let's go through turn 6, now 7. This is one of those corners you can easily validate if you run too wide there. Going through this corner here, you can easily run wide. Nicely done there, good grip from the tyres. This right-hander, you can really aggress the corner. Nicely done there, nicely and tidy. Now we're going towards our one of our slower sections, going under the bridge, of course. This is one of the main overtaking zones. Braking hard, under the bridge. Clips the curb nicely. Trying not to get too much wheel spin on the exit. Now into these curbs, very aggressively taken. You can go aggressive on here. There's a Renault in front of it. Looks to be Gislodian. It is. But it's not going to hinder him too much.
It might actually
help him. Is it going to be faster? Is it faster? Oh, it's third. Faster than Dan.
A 131.344 for Snellweg. He's outperforming the driver that he needs to for this championship. As you said, he is faster than Dan. Dan sitting there in 4th. So he actually split the AlphaTauri drivers, and that is actually pretty funny, because those are pretty much the 3 dominant drivers of this season, save for Rage Hunter and his short-lived dominance in the GP4 series. So Hookie, Snellweg, Energy Dan, they have finished, very close to one another on multiple occasions throughout the season, and now you see them in the qualifying, and they might very well start next to each other. So those are our 3 championship contenders: Hookie, Snellweg, Energy Dan. So that just goes to show that they're not there just by luck. They're not there just because a fairy decided to grant them the points. They are fast. They're quick. Each driver is fast.
That's quite funny. That's quite funny.
But it's true.
That's brilliant. A lovely fairy. What is it, Tinkerbell?
If we ever have a user by the name of Tinkerbell in the GP4 series, I'm gonna have to eat my words today.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I can no longer use my newly found analogy.
Here comes Psycho Mitch. Oh, what's going on in this chat now? Goodness me. So we're going on Psycho Mitch now. Let's see what he does. The Haas driver, of course. Let's see how he does. Psycho Mitch, of course, has had a good couple of races. Had a few good finishes. Let's see how Psycho Mitch does go through this final turn. Psycho Mitch puts in a 132.6, so he goes into 11th.
So that is an improvement for Psycho Mitch.
It does indeed. Where is Hookie at? Hookie's in the final sector. And Gaming thinks to start his one. This is, of course, their final runs. Snellweg is not going to go. Is Snellweg out? No, he isn't. So Snellweg's qualifying is over. So we're now going to check on the other guys as matters. Here comes Hookie. Towards the final couple of corners, he can go again if he needs to. Hookie goes across the line and goes second. Stays second, of course. Where is Dan? Dan is in the 3rd sector, Tim. Let's see how he's 4.6 slower. Is Dan backed off?
I don't know, but it looks like Stupid Clavin has went to 4th at some point since Snellweg last made his lap. So Stupid Clavin sitting there in 4th. Energy Dan in 5th with a 131.4. Let's see what he can do, but he's going into the pit, so I guess Energy Dan is done.
So Snellweg wins that battle. Oh, Gamey Figs really chucking the car into the chicane, and he's coming towards the final 2 corners to get his pole position by a massive margin. Gamey Figs, pole position for him. And Stupid Clavin, he'll be very happy with 4th place, I'm sure. And Hookie and Snell. I wonder what's going to happen to him between Hookie and Snellweg. because we mentioned here, Hooky might try and give Dan a favour and holding up Snellweg for Dan to catch, but he's got to get past Stupid Clavin first.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as Shadowlancer just crossed the line. P13, a 133.001 for Shadowlancer there in the Williams. I do believe he's one of the last drivers to qualify. We still have Admeister out there, but he's going slow under power. I think he's heading back toward the pits. So I think Admeister, the final driver left out on the track. So surely now we will be able to start this race. I'm just impatient. I want to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really good race. And as you said, Hooky sitting there in second could hold up the McLaren of Snellweg to benefit his teammate, whether it be intentionally or accidental, who even knows. Energy Dan, of course, he's got his sights set forward, trying to get to Snellweg, trying to get that podium position, preferably the win, as all drivers are doing. And let's not forget, Stupid Clavin, he had a good run going last week, but he just could not quite make it stick. He had made a few mistakes, and I think he had some contact with some drivers, or one driver that kind of sent him around and just kind of nulled his chance for a podium in Singapore. But he's showing that it wasn't a fluke. His pace was not a one-time thing. He is sitting here in the 4th position in Sochi, so Stupid Clavin en route to a possible podium if he plays his cards right today. But your official starting lineup for the Speed Force Racing League GP4 Series Russian Grand Prix is going to be Gamey Things in first, Hooky in second, Snellweg, your championship leader, in third, Stupid Clavin in fourth, Energy Dan fifth, sixth is Saneth, seventh is Kara, Bannister in eighth, ninth is Proliver, Fanny Lion in 10th, 11th is Psychomich, Need for Speed 12th, 13th is Shadowlancer, Admeister 14th, 15th is Gizlodian. That's rounding out the field. A 15-car field here today. Of course, no Ferraris on the grid, as you said, with Racing Podge and Sonicok being out. And also, someone pointed out in chat, Hyper Warskin is not with us today.
Oh,
so that's
the
unfortunate.
driver. I just remembered. Yeah. Goodness. Just figured that out. Goodness. Just figured it out. Matt Lenny says, hey guys, everyone, good luck for the race, people. Yeah, thank you so much, Matt Nelly. Thank you for your comments as well. Ray Chandler says, first row of the grid to start is a massive disadvantage here. Second or third row will blast past the front guys into T1 with the long run down the straight. That's another point, Tim. It's a very long run to turn 2 because who's on pole? Gaming Fix. Gaming Fix will have to have an immense start. But then you got Snellweg behind, you've got Hooky behind. Them two will get the benefit of slipstream. So it depends how Gaming Fix is going to defend into that chicane of turn 2.
Yeah, that is actually a good point to bring up, because if you remember, in the real-life Formula 1 last year for the 2019 Russian Grand Prix, I believe that it was a Ferrari front row, or at least Charles Leclerc started first or second, and Sebastian Vettel started somewhere around third or fourth. And it was supposed to be that Vettel was there were team orders where Vettel was supposed to get the slipstream and get by Leclerc, and then let Leclerc by once they had built up a nice gap over the Mercedes. But Vettel refused because Leclerc wasn't fast enough. And of course that led to a lot of controversy. And all that stemmed from the fact that they knew that the second row was going to have the benefit going into turn 1 and turn 2 because of how long the straightaway is and how much the aerodynamics are dependent on that section.
Yeah. And like you said, the team orders thing from Ferrari is absolutely... Last year was completely here in Russia, was completely hiatus. I could say other bad things, but of course PG. But it was completely, I don't know what was going on there at Ferrari on that day, and I was really annoyed that they just like arguing each other's like, who I want to win this race, I want to win that. It was completely hiatus. Not one of my favourite things that I want to see. And it's a game with the Mercedes as well. Remember, there's another thing as well, Tim. Remember, Valtteri Bottas had to really lift going into the chicane underneath the bridge to let Hamilton to go through just so he can win the race. Do you remember that one?
Was that the Valtteri It's James incident?
That's the one.
I do remember it. That was actually before I was watching Formula 1, but even though I wasn't watching the series, I still heard about it. And I was appalled that Mercedes decided to do that. And I understood their intentions, but I didn't agree with it. Because Lewis Hamilton would have more than likely won the championship that year anyway. And it just seemed like favoritism. And I think that that's why everyone is sitting here saying, well, they're playing favorites with Lewis Hamilton now. Because everyone's remembering that incident. And that's why I don't like team orders. Because it manipulates the outcome of the race in a way that I don't feel it should. You know, I mean, we all know that in the early 2000s, Rubens Barrichello had to pull over and let Michael Schumacher win the race. And, of course, it was very famous that Michael Schumacher refused to take the top spot of the podium after that. And I think that was in Spa that happened because he felt like it wasn't a deserved win, but they had to listen to their bosses. But moving on, the drivers are lined up on the grid, and they are watching the lights in there. You hear those engines revving. You hear those itchy pedal feet.
We're waiting for the lights. Here we go. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to get the advantage going into turn 2?
4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Speed Force Racing GP4 Series Russian Grand Prix. Gamey Things in the Red Bull.
Gamey Things.
Yeah, Red Bull. Gamey Things getting a really good jump, but look at this. The McLaren of Snellweg is that. Yes, it is. He's going to try to fill up that gap. He's going to try to go around the outside. They're side by side into turn number 2, but it's going to be Gamey Things with the advantage. And 2 Oscars in the back as well.
Bad start for Hooky. Bad start for Hooky going into 4th. So Dan is behind him. Are they going to play team orders already? We've got cars going into turn 4. We've got Sean Alonso going in. And we've got to run around. That's just letting us round. Just letting us round in the background. He'll spin the car around. He'll carry on. Sean Alonso and Sanav is batting away. And we've got Hooky and Dan very close to each other. And now for Torres and he's touching each other. My goodness. So that was Hooky and Dan battling with each other. So the AlphaTauris are not going to be playing team models for now on. But all of those squeezed into the wall. Cycling entrance there as well. My goodness me, what a good start to this race team already. Racy drivers already.
Oh yeah, and these drivers know that they got to move now. Taking a look now at Energy Dan, riding on board with him. He's right here at the back of this little train, forming behind Gamey Things. Snellweg, the leader of this train, because they're all chasing Gamey Things. It's like he's just going to be a sitting duck as soon as DRS is active. But Snellweg sitting there in second, Stupid Clavin in third. Hooky going to try to go around Stupid Clavin for the 3rd position, and will he be able to clear him? Yes, he does, only just after a lockup in the right front from the AlphaTauri of Hooky there. So now move Hooky up into the 3rd position. Gamey Things the fastest lap, a 137.3. And it is lap 3, so the DRS is enabled now. Let's see what Energy Dan Stupid Clavin can do on Hooky.
We just started. Can't be lap 3 already.
Oh, and there was some contact there. Contact and Stupid Clavin is spun.
Now, did he dive and Hooky too early, I presume? Did he dive and Hooky too early? I would say so. The Hooky had the racing line.
I don't know. I mean, it looked like Stupid Clavin made the move with enough time for Hooky to avoid that. But I would have to see a replay, and unfortunately we do not have the capabilities to see that, so I'm going to have to withhold judgment. I thought he had enough time to avoid it, but maybe not.
Lap 2 now, Tim. It's not lap 3 anymore, it's back to lap 2. So the game has fixed itself.
Oh, okay. Well, lap 2 of 20 of... I'm absolutely confused here, but we're just going to move forward. Energy Dan sitting there in 4th. But let's take a look at Proliver down here in the Mercedes. He's running in P7 at the time being, and he's starting to gain on Kara, which is actually Snellweg's teammate, and you see Bannister up there in the Racing Point machine as well. Kara really getting close to Bannister, almost contact as they go underneath the bridge. But Kara, he has been a driver that is not really had the best of seasons. He won in Monza, and he's had some good runs, but otherwise he just has not had the best of season when you compare him to his teammate of Snellweg. So it's good to see Kara running up there in 6th, and I think that he's really improved from the beginning of the season. So Kara, we could really be one to watch here in the last few races.
Oh, indeed. Hooky, is that an overtake on Hooky and Snellweg? It is. Hooky's gone into 2nd place. Now this is going to be interesting, Tim. What's Hooky going to do now? Is he going to hold up Snellweg for Dan, or is he going to drive away? This is going to be very interesting.
And Hooky is in a position where he knows what he has to do. He knows that he basically has to win every race from here on out in order to still have a chance at the championship. Mathematically, he's still in there, but...
And plus, it needs Dan and Snellweg to have bad results, but what is the likely chances, Tim, Snellweg and Dan get bad results from here on out?
Yeah, exactly. It is very slim. I mean, we've seen both of them have bad races, but we've not seen them have consistently bad races, and we've not seen them have a bad race, I think, in the same race. So that is a very difficult points gap that he's going to need not just skill, not just speed, but a little bit of luck as well to overcome, but still possible.
Oh, a car has gone into the wall in the chicane. Car has gone into the wall in the chicane. So it's no front wheel damage on the car, but he went too deep and too fast, and that happened. Challenge and Need for Speed side by side over the chicane. Look at that! The two school friends are fighting each other, and now Stupid Clavin's making up for ground. He's on the outside of Need for Speed, going into the last corner. Need for Speed giving him enough room. Oh, good drive from the two of them.
And Need for Speed, I don't know if you saw that, but he made a little bit of contact there with Stupid Clavin, just a very little bit. And he almost spun, but he was able to hang on to it. So good job there from Need for Speed, hanging on to that, because you get in a position to where you're trying to fight someone, and so your racing line has been taken away. And so naturally, you're going to want to go to the outside of the track on the exit of the corner. It's just how it works. But if another car is there and you misjudge and go a little too wide...
already.
Yeah, actually, that is starting to really heat up, so they're riding on board with Stupid Clavin. Let's see what he can do. Stupid Clavin, of course, started this race in fourth, and he dropped down after some contact with Hookie, and now he's just trying to work his way back up. Personally, I think that he would do well going on the hard tires on this next pit stop and just trying to stay out long to get the best finish that he can. Unfortunately, a podium might be out of reach now, but he can still get a good finish. And hey, a podium might still be within the grasp. Thankfully for him, he spun early on in the race, so he has time to recover.
Stewie, Psychomich and Shallalaz. Shallalaz has gone past the other Haskar Psychomich, so Mr. Tom has gone into the 9th place position now. Well done to Tom there. So the Haskars are now 9th and 10th, and Need for Speed just behind him in 12th. So this is going to be very interesting to see how that all works out, because just Lodian is behind this lot as well, and so it's finally lined up. Is that Hookie and Snellweg are fighting again? Dan is in this group. We got three wide going into the corner. This is going to be cautious. Snellweg and Dan has switched, and Dan's going on the outside. Dan, they touch, both of them touch, the championship contenders touch, and Hookie and Dan are going to the second and third. Wow! AlphaTauri have stopped Snellweg again. So this is even more interesting, Tim. Now Dan is ahead of the both of them.
And that I did not see coming a lap ago, but that just goes to show that teamwork can go a long way, and Snellweg now chasing those AlphaTauri drivers. But now that Energy Dan has gotten ahead, and now that they're kind of running nose to tail, I would imagine that Hookie is going to put it into overtake mode and be like, okay, Dan, now I want by. Let's have a nice little battle. Maybe not right away, but we could see that later on. But so far, it looks like Energy Dan has actually got a lot of pace. He is pulling away from his teammate there in the 3rd position and trying to chase down Gaming Things, who we have not really talked about since the race started, but he is 2.4 seconds now. It keeps jumping around ahead of Energy Dan. So Gaming Things, while all these battles have been going on, has just been able to run his race, run his line, be cautious yet fast, and get out to a nice lead. So Gaming Things doing a very good job here, and he could be an unlikely winner. We've seen him on the podium quite a few times, but as far as winning this race, I don't think that we had him pegged as the winner, but it could very well turn out that way if things play out in his favor.
He's really strong for qualifying, so it's going to be very interesting to see. Now, what Snellweg is... It's just interesting. Is this going to be more bad? Is it bad news for Snellweg now, Tim, that he's behind both AlphaTauris now? Is it bad news for Snellweg that he is?
I don't think so. He has a 36-point lead on Energy Dan entering this race. So I think that Snellweg just riding close to them and being consistent and getting points is enough for him.
They're closing in on Gaming Things, you know. They're actually closing in.
Yeah, they really are. I've noticed, and I think that the AlphaTauri guys are just working together, trying to sort of draft with one another to try to propel them up a little bit higher.
Oliver's bent it! Oliver's bent it, and I'll be careful, Oliver! Oh my God!
Oh, and almost some contact.
Oh, good enough. Good job. That thing was ghosted. My goodness. Wow. Bad luck there for Oliver.
And you know, I'm just gonna say I don't think that Proliver.
The AlphaTauris are fighting.
Oh yes, they are.
Past Dan now.
And a lockup there from Hookie, but that's not going to phase him at all. He's pulling away. I almost wonder if Energy Dan let him by. It didn't look like there was a lot of battling for position or a lot of challenge there from Energy Dan. So maybe Hookie's a little bit faster and he let him by to try to go forward and get more points for AlphaTauri. So we'll see, but they are within the DRS zone, and Snellweg following these guys.
How quickly they got to gaming things. My goodness, that was within, was it 2 laps? They got close to gaming things already.
Pretty much, and even Snellweg is close. He was within DRS of Energy Dan about half a lap ago. Now he's kind of dropped off. But him following these guys while they're closing in on Gaming Things is really helping his chances in the championship as well. Gaming Things, of course, is sort of like a sitting duck, but I would hope that he has a little bit more tires underneath him than maybe the 2 AlphaTauri drivers do, because they've had to battle with a few cars. Gaming Things has basically been able to cruise this whole time, so if he's been able to conserve his tires well, then he might still be okay. Just because they've caught him doesn't mean they can actually pass him, and we'll have to wait and see just what happens there.
So right now, I think Snellweg, do you think Snellweg is finding his time now, Tim? Yes, he's 1.5 seconds behind. But do you think Snellweg is just biding his time at the moment?
I think
something's going on.
I think that's a fair assessment, honestly, that Snellweg is biding his time because it's only lap 7 of 27 laps, so we have 21 laps left remaining in this race. You're not going to win the race on lap 1, you're not going to win the race on lap 7, you're only going to win the race on the last lap. And so the best thing that Snellweg can do is ride around and, like you said, just bide his time and kind of figure out where he can improve. There's very, very, very little adjustments that you can make in a pit stop. And when I say that, I mean that you can change the angle of your front wing, but you're going to have a longer pit stop because they have to change it. So there's not a lot Snellweg can do as far as setup-wise when he pits. But what he can do is figure out, you know, how quick he is on the softs, how quick he is on the mediums if he's ran some practice laps around here, and maybe hope that the race will come to him. But even a 4th place finish is more than enough for him.
So Hookie is harassing Gaming Things now. He's around 2/10 behind him. Gaming Things is doing his darn best to keep ahead of Hookie. Stupid Clavin's got a 3-second penalty. This track is very time penalty city due to its flat runoffs and loads of tarmac areas that you can get a penalty from. It's quite an easy track to get a validation, so these guys will definitely be careful of keeping all 4 tires within the track.
Yeah, they're going to have to be so very careful. But, you know, that's one thing that I have not noticed here today, Oliver, and actually I might ask you to check that here in a moment, is have there been any time penalties? Because we have not been notified of time penalties, but of course, as we know, that does not necessarily mean that there aren't.
So Gaming Things has got 1 warning. Hookie's got no warnings. Dan's got a warning. Snellweg's got a penalty. Snellweg's got a penalty, Tim.
Oh my goodness, now that I didn't know. And also, Need for Speed just picked up a time penalty, so just as I say that, we do get notified now. Not sure what it's looking like on your screen, Oliver, but I don't recall being notified until I saw Need for Speed, but I could have just missed it. But unfortunate for Snellweg to have that penalty. Is that just a normal 3-second?
Snellweg's in. Yeah, it's a normal 3-second penalty.
All right, and he is in now, so let's watch Snellweg's pit stop. Let's see what happens here. He's going to go for the medium tires, so I would imagine that he could probably go the rest of the way on the medium tires. Unfortunately for him, he cannot serve his time penalty during that pit stop, so that time will be added on at the end of the race. But with the medium tires, maybe trying to do the undercut on these guys, it might work out for him.
So right now, we're trying to see how far this lot will go. Stupid Clams on the back of Shallow Lancer, going round turn 3, the long left-hander, round the beautiful fountain of the Winter Olympic Park, And Shalalance really struggling to keep ahead of that, keep that Williams in check of Stupid Clavin. Stupid Clavin, of course, making out a massive spin with Hooky. So Stupid Clavin's making all the progress he needs. Can Stupid Clavin get past Shalalance?
Yeah, Stupid Clavin, he's done a good job so far.
What's Hooky gave me things. Hooky's gone into the lead. Oh, and then
contact!
Oh, it's contact! Oh, it's massive contact!
Oh my goodness, so Hooky and Gamey Things not going to let up on one another. Hooky just absolutely forcing his way into the lead. Gamey Things trying to fight back, but now he's going to have to deal with Hooky's teammate of Energy Dan. So let's see what Energy Dan does. Going underneath him, and wow, what is wrong with Gamey Things? Something's wrong with Gamey Things, I think. He's like he's under power or something. I have no idea. He's running slow. So maybe something's happened with his wheel. I have no idea.
He is going slow, isn't he? He's just not going anywhere. Alpha Toya in 1 and 2. So what does that mean? So Gaming thinks he must have run wide on purposely to let Dan through.
And that's what I thought as well, but then for him to be going as slow as he is right now, I almost figure if maybe something else happened that we're not seeing. I don't see any wing damage on the Red Bull, so unless there's some very, very minor damage, I don't think that there's been any contact to cause any damage on that car. Obviously, the engine is fine. He is continuing to move forward, and he's back at race pace now. But there for the first little bit of the front straightaway, he was really under power.
Very interesting. So Albertoy 1 and 2. So let's see how these two do. Hooky and Dan, of course. They're not doing team orders, of course, these two boys. So Dan and Hooky are going to fight.
And a big lock up there from Hooky going into that corner. Hooky, I've noticed this throughout the season, is that he really locks up the tires a lot going into the corner. And it's easy to do, and I do it a lot too. But what surprises me is that it doesn't seem to really hinder his performance. So there goes Hooky into the pits. Looks like he's going to have the first pit stop. Energy Dan's going to be able to go for the second pit stop, so he's going to stay out one more lap. Let's see if the overcut will work for him. Of course, double stacking would not have worked for AlphaTauri in that instance, so this is really the only strategy that they had left to play. So with Hooky, he's going to come out probably in the 7th position, maybe? Let's see. He's on. No.
It's slow pit stop because Snellweg's coming through the final corner. Where is Hooky at? He's just coming. He's exiting the pits. This is going to be close to between Snellweg and Hooky. No, not close enough just yet because Snellweg's got Hooky, I believe. No, there he is. There's Hooky and Snellweg. Hooky has got Snellweg getting the stops. It's going to be going into the turn 2 corner. Oh, and Snellweg. How on earth did he get past Hooky there?
Cold tires and a lot of speed down the straightaway. You got to remember, Snellweg was holding it wide open from the exit of the final corner. Hooky could only hold it wide open from the exit of the pits. Snellweg had a significant speed advantage to get around there, so it looks like the undercut has worked for Snellweg. So congratulations to him. I know he's got a time penalty, but that probably makes him feel a little bit better. Of course, Hooky, with slightly fresher tires now, once he gets those things warmed up, might be able to take the challenge back to that McLaren. We'll have to wait and see. But now let's take a look at Energy Dan, because he's going to be pitting here probably on this lap. He's entering this 3rd sector now, or he already is in the 3rd sector. So let's see if he dives down into the pits and get a new fresh set of Mr. Feelgoods. Yes, there he goes into the pit. So Energy Dan going down. You've never heard that term?
That's brilliant. I've heard of finger licking go for KFC, but never heard of that one before.
That must be a short track thing in America then, because I've heard that term for quite a few years now.
So Hooky's just got ahead of... So Hooky has lost his place to Snellweg. Oh, and to see how Dan will get through. Dan, where is Snellweg? It's good for the last corner. Dan is exiting the pits now. This is going to be close. This is going to be very close, Tim.
And Dan is out. Dan is out, but will he be able to stay in front of Snellweg? I think he's going to. Yes, he will.
So Snellweg's jumped Hooky in the stops, but not Energy Dan.
Wow, okay, so Energy Dan a lot faster, so it looks like the overcut worked for him for sure. And now look at this, Hooky is way up on the back of the McLaren. He's going to try to go on underneath him, but not going to be able to do it. Wow, Snellweg and Gamey Things just battling out. There was almost contact a couple corners ago. Snellweg now starting to pull away from the AlphaTauri, but let's see if Hooky can regroup and take the challenge back. They're running just about how they qualified, just maybe a few positions further back. Of course, Gamey Things, we have to note there has been a communication issue with his car. He is back in the car, I do believe, but that might hinder his performance because he's had to stay out for an extra lap. And Psychomich running there in second. Someone in the chat actually pointed out to me that he started on those medium tires and now he finds himself in second place. And the person in the chat is suggesting that we watch his second stint. So when he pits for the soft tires, I'm very curious to see what he can do. However, others are saying that it's a long stint to go on the medium tires. So we'll see if the strategy works out for Psychomich or not. But right now the battle is between Snellweg, Energy Dan, and Hooky for the 4th position as Shadowlancer has pitted. So now that moves into the 3rd position this battle is for. And they're really just running nose to tail. They're not really they're not making any risks at the moment.
Well, if you want to talk about any risk, because here comes Hooky slightly. But yeah, I would say the boys are playing it safe at the moment. Well, Hooky is being very daring on the brakes, but not tagging Snellweg's car, which is good news on his part. Yeah, I would say that Psychomich will go softs, and he's going to sprint it to the line. So yeah, keep an eye on Psychomich once he goes onto his second stint, which will be a soft tire stint. It'll be very interesting to see on Hooky. 3-second penalty.
And that is not what he needed. Not sure where that occurred. I didn't see the corner cut, but obviously with a 3-second penalty, that is what it was. So track limits must be obeyed. Hooky running there in 4th place at the moment, but unfortunate for him to pick up that time penalty. Snellweg, of course, has a 3-second time penalty as well. So Energy Dan, I think, is okay. Psychomich, I think, is okay. So this could really be Energy Dan or Psychomich's race. It just depends on which strategy is going to work better. However, I think that Energy Dan starting on the softs and going on the mediums now is a much better strategy than Psychomich starting on the mediums. However, I'm not going to knock the reverse strategy because I am a fan of it. And I think that was Psychomich's only chance, and he hasn't even pitted yet.
I love this. Ryan Brown, who's a former racer here in SFR, is put in, is this NASCAR? It's probably referring to your voice, Tim, which is nice to hear.
Well,
brilliant.
I mean, I guess this is NASCAR for Europeans, but they call it Formula 1.
Oh, down on the inside of Psychomich. Oh. And he gets the inside line, forcing Psychomich through turn 2, and Hooky down the inside for turn 3. And Snell does it then. Hooky gets the cut to the back of him slightly. But all good for now. That was interesting to watch, Tim.
Oh, yeah. Hooky trying to take it to Snellweg and Energy Dan taking it to Psychomich. So, and like I was saying, is Psychomich's only option really to get up to the first, second, third position was, oh wow, there's another battle here with Psychomich, Snellweg going around him. Now let's see what Hooky can do. Hooky's going to look around, and I think Psychomich is just going to have to let him go. These guys are on much fresher tires than Psychomich, but Psychomich actually using the DRS to get around Snellweg, and now it's Hooky and Snellweg side by side. Hooky backs out, Snellweg hits Psychomich, they're side by side for second place. Snellweg on the outside.
Damage on Snellweg's car, front right end plate missing.
And oh my goodness, that must have been the contact. And 3 wide into that corner. Wow, and Snellweg will prevail, but he does have the wing damage. So it is Snellweg, Psychomich, Hooky second, third, and fourth at the moment. Hooky trying to get around Psychomich. He is really using up the back bumper of that car, the Haas car there. Psychomich getting a little bit loose out of the final corner, and he's just trying to hang on. He is a sitting duck, though, on those old medium tires. You got Hooky looking on the inside, but Psychomich with a slightly faster line on the outside, but I think Hooky will prevail. It's just a matter of time. They're still side by side, and Psychomich refuses to give up, and Hooky concedes the position going into the corner. Wow, so Psychomich is actually being able to hold off these guys, so fair play to him.
Psychomich on 14 lap old mediums is fighting two championship contenders on fresher tyres. but Snellweg's got front end play, and that's another penalty for Hooky.
You know, one thing I'm going to say about Psychomich, this guy, he is a racer. You don't always see him qualifying well. Sometimes you don't even see him finishing well. But you better believe that if there's a strategy that's going to get him to the front and give him a chance, he's going to take it and he's going to defend it for all his life. Fair play to Psychomich, as you said.
Psychomich, he never gives up. He has got a never say die attitude. But here comes Hooky once again. He's got no errs. Psychomich, no errs. So it's all down to the DRS. And Psychomich prevails once again. Fair play to Psychomich in the Hascard. Stay with it. But with Snellweg getting all sorts of problems with front end grip because of no front wing end play on that left hand side. It's going to be very interesting to see how you can tell. I'm on board with Psychomich. And it's Psychomich. Snellweg is not very, very happy with his front end.
Yeah, and Psychomich looks like it's going to be Hooky going underneath him now, but wow, that was close. Almost contact, but not. Hooky now having the edge on Psychomich, and I think it's all over for the Haas car. He's going to have to pit now. It's a little bit early, but he needs to. And there's people in the chat even pleading with him to go ahead and pit. So Psychomich, we might be seeing him dive down the pit lane now that he's lost that podium position. I feel like he probably should have pitted a couple laps sooner. But he knows how long he can go on the softs. He knows how long he can go on the mediums. So I'm going to trust that his strategy is the best that he's got for the time being, because we don't know what the setup of that car is. We don't know what's going on with that car. It could be a monster to drive for all we know. And it actually looks like it might be, because he's gotten loose out of the corner quite a few times. But that's not difficult to do with these cars, as we got Hooky battling with Snellweg now.
Oh, and touch between the two. Very close together. I'll tell you what, Psychomich is not giving up, isn't he? Look at him.
No, he's not. Psychomich he has the mentality of, I'm just going to go for it, go big or go home. Psychomich absolutely trying to get around Hooky, but he's kind of lost ground now, and Hooky going to try to go underneath Snellweg, and he is there. He locks it up. They're side by side. Snellweg goes wide. There's contact between the two. McLaren versus AlphaTauri. Now Hooky goes wide. Snellweg back into second, but Hooky taking the challenge back to him, and he has not let him clear him. Now he has Snellweg pulling away from Hooky, but will he regroup and get back to him? He's going to have the DRS when they get to the front straightaway, so let's see what they can do. This is absolutely playing into Energy Dan's hands, though. 6-second lead for him as his teammate is battling out with his nearest championship competitor.
And this is what Dan needs, is his teammate to fight.
It really is. I mean, Energy Dan, this has been a perfect race for him so far, and it could not have went any better in his eyes, I don't believe. However, it's not over just yet. It still needs to finish, so anything can happen. Hooky riding just behind Snellweg, really trying to put the pressure on him. Maybe he's even trying to work with him to get close to Energy Dan. At this point, I have no idea, because I feel like Hooky could be taking a few more risks to get by Snellweg, but it's almost like maybe he doesn't want to yet. And that's actually really good, because he's intimidating him. He's making him drive just a little bit harder, using up his tires. So a little bit of mind games maybe going on.
Indeed so. I would say indeed so. If he puts more pressure on Snellweg, the more Snellweg's going to push it on his tyres and more pushing on the car. So it'll be very interesting to see how this will turn out. Here goes Hooky once again, Tim.
On board with Hooky, he's going to have the DRS. This is where he tried to make the pass this time. Snellweg's he thought about blocking him, but he couldn't do it. Hooky put it in there in the last second, and Snellweg, though, with the momentum on the outside, is able to go around Hooky. Hooky just not having the speed on that inside line, and now he's having to back out so he doesn't get into the back of Snellweg. So Hooky is quick. He's just going to have to find a place to pass.
I'll tell you now, I think Hooky needs to say he deserves a bit more to get past Snellweg. Here we go again, Tim. DRS zone number go. Psychomich pits. Here comes Hooky once again. He's a lot closer.
And Hooky looking on the outside. Will Hooky get it? I think Hooky's got it. Does he clear him, though? Yes, he does. Only just Snellweg a 3-second time penalty. So both of these drivers now with a 3-second time penalty. So you've got to remember, Hooky 6 seconds, Snellweg 6 seconds. What does Kara have? What does Bannister have? Because Kara is 6.4 seconds behind Snellweg. If he can gain 0.4 of a second, he will pass his teammate.
So Kara's got one 3-second time penalty. Bannister, no time penalties. Dan, no time penalties.
So Energy Dan is really playing into his hands. Kara, you said he has 1 time penalty, correct?
Yep, and Bannister, none.
So Bannister could be looking at a podium finish here today if Hookie or Snellweg get another time penalty and he keeps it clean. But Bannister is actually battling it out with Gamey Things at the moment. Of course, Gamey Things, our pole sitter, had a communication issue with his car, so caused him to drop back just a little bit. He's running in 6th, trying to pass this Racing Point machine. So let's take a look at this battle here as Bannister is actually protecting that inside line just a little bit. And I think Gamey Things had the DRS, but just wasn't quick enough to get around the pink car up in front of him. So Bannister just trying to hang on, and like we said, could be a podium if things play out in his favor. Kara now, another 3-second time penalty, so 6 seconds for Kara.
6.
6 seconds for both McLarens.
6 seconds, yep, it is. And Bannister still no penalties, and Dan no penalties. These two are playing a very, very clean race, and so do some of the other drivers. I'm very been impressed with their driving here in Russia. Here goes Gamey Things with loads of birds on his side. He'll go down the inside through turn 1, drag racing it towards turn 2. Gamey Things into the 5th place position he goes, and that will be very comfortable on his part. Now he can go and try to chase after Kara.
So let's see what Gamey Things can do. He does have slightly fresher tires.
Side by side. And Fanny Line goes into the 8th place position. Red Bull making places. Fanny Line into the 8th place position now.
So Red Bull 5 and 8 at the time being, and Stupid Clavin up there in 7th. So he's been able to rebound fairly nicely and get up there in the 7th position. Of course, not what he's wanting, but it's what he's got at the moment. And Fanny Line, though, he is not out of the woods just yet. Shadowlancer back behind him, trying to make a charge and get around him. And it looks like Psychomich has pitted that last time, so he is on fresh soft tires. Let's see what he can do.
And
he's already closing.
That he warned us about.
So let's see what Psychomich can do here on Shadowlancer. Bannister, of course, up there in 6th, but Shadowlancer down here in 9th. 10th, Psychomich. 8th, Fanny Line. So Psychomich could possibly get up to around 7th place, I think, on these soft tires. But he's going to have to get by Shadowlancer. So let's see what he can do. He's going to try on the inside.
My.
And he makes it stick.
How on earth did he keep that car stick? Look at Psychomich go! Taking 2 cars in the space of 2 corners. Psychomich on real maneuvers.
Yeah, so fair play to Psychomich there, getting around Shadowlancer. Now trying to chase down his teammate of Stupid Clavin, but that is a 4.8-second gap. So not sure if he's going to have enough time to close in on that or not, but he is going fairly quick. It's almost down to 4.7, but he's not really quick enough as I think he needs to be. So Psychomich might just have to settle for 8.
Shadowlancer's gone past Fanny Line, so the two switch again.
And now Fanny Line trying to take the charge back to Shadowlancer, but Shadowlancer pulling away. He's got the inside line, a shorter line around that racetrack, but Fanny Line trying to get the speed on the outside there, trying to use the slipstream as well whenever he can down the straightaways to get close to him. But I think that Shadowlancer might have just a slightly better car, and he has slightly fresher tires as well.
Because Gamey Things on Kara.
So on board now with Gamey Things.
Yeah.
And he's catching him. He is catching him. He's got 2 laps fresher tires than what Kara does. And he is catching him. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and if he can get by him. Kara actually getting a little bit loose there, and Gamey Things going to look on the inside, but thinking better of it. He backed out. So he's going to have to try to regroup and pass him again. There's going to be a DRS zone up here, so that might be Gamey Things' chance, but Kara knows that, and he's going to have to be quick about it.
So right now, 4.7 between the AlphaTauris, another 4.3 between Hook and Snellweg, and 3.9 between Snellweg and Kara. I would say if Gamey Things can get past Kara as soon as possible, it can put the charge down on Snellweg, and this will really help Energy Dan's chances of closing him down in the championship. But it's going to be tough. And Fanny Line and Shadowlancer are fighting again. They're going into turn 2. But Gaming Things, if Gaming Things can get past Kara, that'd be great for Gaming Things to try and catch down Snell. But it's going to be difficult because Kara's not an easy guy to pass.
No, he really isn't. Kara is another one of those drivers who can really defend his position very well. So Gaming Things is going to have to really kind of calculate how he's going to get around Kara. It's almost like that meme with all the math equations going around in Gaming Things' head right now, just trying to find a way to get by, because I think he knows that a podium is very much within reach. Snellweg, Hookie, of course, 6 seconds worth of time penalties on their part. Kara, 6 seconds worth of time penalties on his part as well. So actually, mathematically, I think that Gaming Things would be on the podium if the race were to finish right now, but don't quote me on that. It's close.
I love this from Ryan. He says, this Oliver guy has a sexy voice. Ha ha! That's brilliant. Is that Hookie gone past my Snellweg? It is. Hookie's gone past my Snellweg. Snellweg's is on now under pressure for Hookie because Hookie's got the DRS. On behind car from Snellweg. Look at this. They're fighting now going into turn 2. Here comes Hookie. Hookie stays behind for now. T1's down an invitation. Look at these two. They're actually going on a war. As Hookie gets return free. Down the inside, but Snellweg on the inside line. Going to turn 4. And Snellweg keeps the position held.
But it's not over yet. Hookie's looking on the inside. Let's see what he can do. He's going to go around the outside. He's trying to crossover move. Is he going to try it again? No, he's not. Snellweg is holding his position. That was impressive from both drivers there, and still no contact between the two. But Hookie is definitely faster. Snellweg is holding him up, but that's what he needs to do. These 3 drivers on the podium right now are the 3 drivers battling for the championship. So they're just doing what they have to do. Snellweg is 36 points ahead of Energy Dan, who is leading this race. He would gain on his competitor if he's able to hold his first place position at the time being. Hookie trying. He tried to go on the outside, and he does a crossover now. He's on the outside of Snellweg, but Snellweg with the preferred line on the inside forces him wide.
There's another issue. There's another problem, Tim, because look who's behind them. Car and Gaming Things is caught because of the battle.
So we have a 4-car battle for the podium, pretty much. You got Gaming Things and Kara back there battling it out, and then you got Hookie and Snellweg in front of them battling it out. Looks like Gaming Things is getting very close to Kara. Let's see if he can get by him in this DRS zone. Keeping an eye up there on Hookie, though, who is actually trying to make a move on Snellweg, I think. Gaming Things had to back out, so let's take a look at what Hookie's doing now. He's much closer to Snellweg than he was half a lap ago, and now he's going to try to go around the outside, or the inside of Snellweg. They're side by side and wheel to wheel. Snellweg versus Hookie still, and Hookie has not got the position just yet. A contact, he hits him. Hookie hits Snellweg, but Snellweg keeps the position.
What a race for the championship. This is for the championship reputations. Hookie is trying all his best to help out Dan, but it's Snellweg really holding on. Look at Hookie really going for it. Round the outside, not working out. And look at Car and Gaming Things, they're really caught up to it now, Tim. This is going to be a finale for the podium here.
Lap 23 of 27. 5 laps to go here in this race. Who will it be on the podium as Hookie's trying to get around Snellweg once again. This is the place that he loves to pass, and Hookie spins! Hookie is spotted, and then he collects Gaming Things! Hookie and Gaming Things collected! And Hookie, that might have just ended his championship hopes, but he's rebounded to 6th still. He's holding on. Gaming Things in 4th, but probably some wing damage on that Red Bull. There's no way there isn't, but he's still trying to take the challenge to Kara. There's no wing damage! There's no wing damage on Gaming Things!
Tim, are you surprised about how indestructible that Red Bull is?
Yes, actually. I think that I'm about to jump in the GP4 series and drive a Red Bull. This is crazy. No wing damage on Gaming Things despite hitting Hookie head on. Hookie spun on his own. And now Kara spins. Kara spins on his own. So now it's the McLaren and an AlphaTauri who spun. So now it's another AlphaTauri and another McLaren running 1 and 2. The Red Bull of Gaming Things, who was the pole sitter, making his way through.
What is going on?
Lap 24 of 27, Snellweg in 2nd, having to fend off Gaming Things. Does Gaming Things have any penalties?
I'll check for you now, my friend.
Because that's what it's going to come down to. Bannister, I believe, is going to get a podium if he just holds in 4th position.
Two penalties for gamey things.
2 penalties for gamey things.
And 2 penalties for Snellweg.
What about Stupid Clavin?
Stupid Clavin, 1 5-second penalty, 5-second penalty, and penalties. Yep, that 2 penalties for Stupid Clavin.
Oh my goodness! So all these drivers that are close to the podium. Gamey thinks he's going to try to go around Snellweg here. Let's see what he can do. They're side by side, and Snellweg gets a little bit loose, but Gamey thinks got it, and Hooky another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings at the same time. But Gamey thinks pulling away from Snellweg now. He's got 1 penalty, you said, so he's going to have to put a healthy gap between him and the rest of the field if he wants a chance to hang on to this podium. And yeah, Bannister running there in 4th.
No penalties for Bannister. No penalties for Bannister.
So Bannister might be looking at a 2nd place run as Snellweg trying to go down the inside of Gamey Things, but not able to do it. Gamey Things shut the door on him. Now he's pulling away, but Snellweg getting a little bit of a better exit out of that corner and trying to get close to Gamey Things, using the slipstream, everything that he can do. But I don't think it's going to be enough. And Snellweg, with the time penalties that he has, there's no chance that he's going to get on the podium today.
I'll tell you now, fair play to Bannister for not getting a penalty. Fair play for Energy Dan for not getting any penalty. This is a penalty city circuit, so well done to these drivers for not getting penalties. Shout out to every single one of them who do not have penalties. Fair play to all of you, because this is a very hard circuit to get. This is a very easy circuit to get penalties. And Snellweg is falling behind Gamey Things, and Bannister is really caught up to him now.
Yeah, and Bannister has a podium. And, you know, that's just how it is. As long as he holds in this position right now.
Bannister.
Yeah, Bannister does have a podium. He just has to stay here and wait for the race to finish. Whether or not he knows that is a different scenario. So Bannister's still trying to take the challenge to Snellweg, I do believe. But it doesn't look like he's really taking any unnecessary risks. So I think he might be aware of the time penalties at play. And, of course, one driver that we've not mentioned for a while after all this, Energy Dan's got a 15-second lead, by the way. You know, just thought that I'd let you know. I mean, he is out there dominating this race.
So now Bannister's go down the inside of Snellweg. So Bannister's gone past Gamey. It's not getting back to Snellweg now. Bannister's into 3rd place now. We can all say now it's definitely confirmed that the Hookie's Championship hopes for this season are confirmed as done. Well done to Hookie though too. He had put up an amazing fight throughout the season, and he gets the fastest lap. But let's congratulate Hookie for his championship chances this season. Well done to him for his commitment throughout the season.
Yeah, and he gave it his all, and he might, at the end of this race, he might still mathematically be in it, but even if he is, it would be such a close gap that he could lose it just by Snellweg scoring points next week. So we'll have to wait and see how the point standings look after this race, but might have very well ended Hookie's chances at a championship. However, Snellweg and Energy Dan, both of those drivers are still very much within contention of this championship, and that's what they're fighting for now. Of course, Snellweg with 6 seconds worth of time penalties, running there in 4th place. He's just trying to hang on and get as much points as he can. Energy Dan. Yeah, Stupid Clavin there in 6th now. So let's see what he's doing.
Combat drive for Stupid Clavin from after the spin out with Hookie.
Yeah, and I'm almost wondering if he might be able to get a podium, but I don't think so. I think he's got more time penalties than what he really needs. So Stupid Clavin probably not going to get a podium at all. I'm very curious to see who's going to get that final spot of the podium. But let's take a look at Energy Dan here just a minute. He's 16 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, the glory lap for Dan.
Yeah, this is very much the glory lap, and riding on board with him, you see absolutely nothing in front of him. That's all he wants to see, because that means that he's in the lead, pulling away from everybody. No one behind him, no one in front of him. He's practically got the track to himself. Kara, another 3-second time penalty as well. So Gamey Things in 2nd. He's got, I think, 1 time penalty, so he might be able to squeeze by and get the final spot of that podium. We'll just have to wait and see. But Energy Dan about to enter the 3rd sector. In the 2nd sector now.
And this is the most important thing, that Dan is going to be outscoring Snellweg today. This will be close enough for the championship right now going into the next race. So Dan and Snellweg's gap is going to shrink dramatically.
And I think that he'll outscore him by more than 10 points after that time penalty. So we could see a very close championship battle when it comes down to the final few races.
Dan.
So he's been dominant all day. He's had a quick car, and some battles behind him helped him out as well. He got out to a 14-second lead, and now Energy Dan has won the Russian Grand Prix. Gamey Things, our pole sitter, gonna finish in second, but let's see where time penalties put him after the end of it all. Gamey Things coming out of the final corner, crossing the line, second place. Bannister in third, no time penalties at all. Will get second place. Gamey Things dropping down to third. But Snellweg goes up to third. Snellweg goes up to third. So apparently Gamey Things had more time penalties. Snellweg up to third, not what Energy Dan wanted to see at all. Psychomich in fifth, it looks like. Stupid down to sixth. Kara in seventh. Shadowlancer gonna finish in eighth, but let's see if he's got any time penalties that's gonna change that. Gets a little loose out of that final corner. He drops down to ninth already. Ninth place for Shadowlancer, 10th for Fanny Lion. Hooky in 11th, just out of the points.
No points for Hooky. That is pretty much still done and dusted for his championship, but well done to you, mate, for putting up a good fight. And Meister, Need for Speed just loading, about to finish off the races. Here comes Meister. Good drive from him, well done for him. Well done for his race. 13th place for him, Need for Speed. He'll come back next week better and stronger for sure. Here comes Need for Speed. 6th lap on the softs. Nice drive from him. Into the 14th place, and just loading will take the final place positions. Right. Now we're getting third, Tim. That's vital.
Yeah, that really was. And Gislodian actually jumped up to 14th after some time penalties there. And driver of the day is Psychomich. I really don't know. I don't know who my driver of the day was. I completely forgot what was happening. There was so many battles going on there toward the end. Yeah, way too much action, but very surprised to see Snellweg on that podium. We knew he was fast enough, but he had a lot of time penalties, and I didn't think that he had enough to jump Gamey Things and get on the podium, but apparently somewhere along the lines, Gamey Things picked up another time penalty that, you know, just kind of caught him off guard. So unfortunate for Gamey Things, but congratulations to Snellweg. That helps him in the championship. And of course, Energy Dan winning the race helps him in the championship more than it's helped anyone throughout the race, and he won it by a significant margin. He almost had a free pit stop. He almost could have pitted for softs and went for the fastest lap.
Decided not to.
So your official finishing order for the Speed Force Racing League GP4 Series Russian Grand Prix is Energy Dan in first, Bannister second, Snellweg the championship leader in third, Gamey Things the pole sitter in fourth, Psychomich in fifth, Stupid Clavin in sixth, Proliver in seventh, Kara eighth, ninth is Shadowlancer, 10th is Fanny Lion, 11th is Hooky, 12th is Saneth, Admeister in 13th, 14th is Gislodian, Need for Speed in the 15th position. So we're going to talk to our podium sitters here in just a few moments' time. Energy Dan, Bannister, and Snellweg will be joining us. But congratulations to them, and that was a magnificent race.
It certainly was.
Ryan Brown says some brilliant NASCAR racing today. Well, I mean, if that's what you want to call it, but these aren't exactly stock cars.
They're a bit more fragile than... Is Dan our race winner?
So just waiting on Snellweg.
Bannister in.
Yeah. Is Snellweg already in?
Not yet.
All right, so Snellweg and Bannister just waiting on those two.
Just need to find his name. Finn Dan's got these drivers' names already. Knowing him. Look at him, Mr. All Prepared for Everything.
When my list comes up, yeah, Bannister got, and Snellywelly.
Snellywelly.
There he is. Got him. Yeah, coming in now, mate.
Thanks, Ryan. Brilliant.
What's that?
He's Rises to Oliver that he needs to up his commentary game up to yours. That's his cheeky.
So, are we just waiting?
Hello, Snellweg. Hello, Bannister's coming in now. Here he is.
All right, there we go. So Bannister's in here. So now we have our podium sitters. So before we start the interviews, guys, just want to remind you to allow your voice to be shared. If you don't know how to do that, go over to the party settings and click always allow, and then let me know when you're ready.
I'm good.
Energy Dan ready?
Ready.
Bannister, you ready?
Ready, yep.
All right, and Snellwig?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so first things first, I think we're going to talk with Snellweg simply because I want to know how your race went, because you had, correct me if I'm wrong, 6 seconds worth of time penalties. You dropped down as low as 4th there in the final laps of the race, and we were talking about people that weren't you getting podiums. We did not expect you to get the podium at all. You were able to jump gamey things due to time penalties. So, you know, as far as your pace today, you weren't exactly the fastest car, but you were fast enough to be consistent and get a podium. So just tell us about your race and how you thought those time penalties were going to affect you there toward the end.
Yeah, it was a wild race. Didn't do any practice, so I was kind of cold coming here. Was happy with my P3. First lap, I think I overtook Hooky. I don't remember. I think I did. And then behind Gamey, I didn't have enough pace to really keep up with them. So yeah, at the end they all kind of passed me. Then I got wing damage from Psycho Mitch. It wasn't his fault, it was totally my fault. I just ran into the back of him. So yeah, that was kind of ruined my race. But in the end, still got the clutch podium after some harsh defensive moves from myself. But in the end, really happy with P3. Didn't expect it, so it's nice to have it.
In terms of your championship, Snell, with Dan getting first, you're getting third. We all thought you were going to get fourth, but getting third was really vital for your championship hopes. But with Dan closing in on you just a tiny bit going into the next race, are you feeling a little bit heated now from Dan behind?
Nah.
No
pressure. No pressure.
My foot's flat, Snellwig. My foot is flat, mate.
Beautiful.
I mean, how are you feeling going to the next race then?
Japan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I wish we could just skip it, but yeah. I just can't get it right, all the tricky corners, so I will, if I can take a P3, I will happily take that. Like, don't expect too much from me next week.
And the fight with Hooky, that wasn't a sensational fight.
Yeah, it was pretty harsh defensive moves from myself, but in the end I think we kept it clean overall, so yeah, it was really exciting.
All right, well, congratulations to you, Snellweg. You did lose out on to Energy Dan, but not by much. So you're staying consistent. You're doing what you need to do. Going to turn to Bannister now in the Racing Point. So, Bannister, you had a quiet race. We actually didn't talk about you all that much until it got down to the end, and we realized that the top three had some penalties. And we noticed that you were just kind of running back there, as you do, just kind of hanging out and playing it safe, but being very quiet. And then we noticed you did not have any time penalties at all. So then we started to be like, okay, a podium is a very realistic possibility for Bannister. And then you jumped into second. So just tell us about your race, because it was fairly uneventful. So I just want to know what goes through your mind to put you into these positions, to get these podiums, because you're quick, you're fast. It's just you don't make noise while doing it. You just show up and you just do it.
Well, that's it. I think you just got to keep it clean. Just clean laps every lap and try your hardest not to get any penalties, because it will pay in the end if you can finish the race, by the way, because I haven't for the last few. But if you can keep it clean and keep the penalties away, then you'll end up gaining some at the end. So I'll just try to do that and keep it clean and stay out of championship leaders' ways. Not much choice, because they're usually 10 seconds in front of me. But I had a good race. It was nice and clean and brought it home in second place. So
I mean, how is this second place for you then, Bannister?
Sorry?
How's the second place feel then?
That's good. It's good. I need that win. I haven't had a win yet, so...
One day you will, buddy.
Season's out. I'm hoping that comes in Japan because that's one of my favourite tracks. So...
Well, congratulations.
Me too, Bannister.
Oh.
Oh, well, what happened? I didn't hear what you just said.
He said Japan
was
was one of his
favourites, and I went, oh, it is mine as well.
Oh, well, that's going to be interesting. But congratulations, Bannister, to your second place finish. You had a good run today. Going to turn to the race winner, Energy Dan. First of all, there you go. See, now, I'll just be honest with you, Energy Dan. We weren't sure if you were part of the race there toward the end. You were so far ahead that it was basically just a battle for second. You won, I don't know if you know, but you won by about 15 seconds. You almost had a free pit stop. You were flirting with it there for a while. So, and you didn't have the fastest lap in qualifying. You qualified about fourth, I do believe. But once you got to the lead, you took off. So, is that a matter of clean air, or was it just were you saving for the entire race until you got to the lead?
No, to be honest with you, the start of the race was quite nerve-wracking. I was following the pack. There was Hooky, Snell, I think Bannister and Stupid Clavin was in the mix there. So yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't want to go pushing straight away. I just wanted to stay within 1 second of the guys in front. I was just trying to pick people off when I can. I noticed really quickly that Snellweg, his pace dropped off, so I could tell in Sector 3 he was quite slow. So I think maybe he was running low downforce. Is that right, Snell?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. So I purposely went for a slightly higher downforce for this track, just because I knew I was going to be saving fuel. So I was doing a lot in lean and a lot in rich, and then just saving ERS for the main straight. And then halfway through the race, I was blipping it coming out the corners just to keep a little bit of momentum. I was aiming to do 11 or 12 laps on the softs because the overcut round here is stupidly powerful. Worn softs are still faster than fresh mediums. So I knew Hooky wanted to pit 10, so I was going to go 11 or 12. Now I nearly went 12, but I had a bit of a moment coming through Sector 3, so I thought, do you know what, don't push it. Managed to come out in front of Snellweg and Hooky. And then once I got past Psycho Mitch, which was a bit of a dicey turn 2, technically turn 1 move. And then in clean air, it is easy in clean air. And I kind of got it down this week in practice about reducing penalties. It's the first session I've done where I've got no penalties whatsoever. I only got 1 warning. So like Bannister said, if you stay penalty free, you reap the benefits of it. And then towards the end, I wasn't pushing, but I wasn't taking it easy because I wanted to make sure that if a safety car came out, I could jump in and get softs and then maybe get fastest lap. But yeah, really gutted for Hooky. I think Cara and Hooky had to come together. I was really hoping. Yeah, I was really hoping for us to be on the podium together. So Hooky's not feeling very happy at the minute, but
bless him.
He's been great all week in practice, and yeah, I just think we really wanted that together, and it's kind of took the happiness out of the win, to be honest with you. But yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wanted to say my congratulations to Hooky for his championship run, because right now he's feeling very dejected because he's now officially out of the championship fight. It's between you and Snellweg now. Do you think with Hooky still going to be there, Dan? I think you two will still be team working as ever to stop Snellweg to get that championship and help you out?
Not really. Well, yes and no. We're going to help each other. We've always said that from day one. I said, if one of us is out of the fight, then we'll help each other. But it's not like a case we're going to block or anything like that, because that's not sportsmanlike.
No, of course not.
But we'll do what we can in races to help each other out and get tours and stuff and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, what you've got to remember about racing is it only takes one DNF of either me or Snellweg to bring him back into it.
That's very true. Yeah, I didn't come to mind.
I only had one moment in this race, and it was in Sector 3 when I nearly lost it on that stupid left orange curb. And I saw Snellweg was similar coming out of that corner. He was a bit tail happy through what I call the Singapore section. It's almost identical to the Singapore left-right.
Yep.
So yeah, it only takes one of us to DNF to at least bring him back into the top 3 spot. Do you know what I mean? So don't count your chickens before they hatch. Put it that way.
Very true, very true. So
And
Japan,
it is Japan
coming up.
It is Japan coming up. So Degner 1 and 2. Casillo Triangle. It can happen. So.
Yeah, what's your mindset going into Japan? Is it going to be trying to keep ahead of Snowberg as much as you can?
Not for Japan. It's going to be another sensible race, I think. Try and stay penalty free, stay off the dirt, stay off the grass, and just get the points that I can, because anything can happen in Japan, and we all know Japan, it's likely to be raining, so I'm going to do quite a lot of wet running.
Well, that would be interesting to see.
That's it.
Well,
I think Japan has a possibility of rain of it's as high as 43 or 44%. So, yeah, it is very likely.
Well, I guess that is all that we have time for, but congratulations to you, Energy Dan, for your win. Congratulations to Bannister Snellweg on the podium. And until next time, good evening, good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Have fun, and goodbye.